Hey there, my name is Savannah Winn, and I am the owner of Southeast Tombstone and Cemetery Restoration. I am at Livingston Church Cemetery. Livingston Church was established in 1833. Hearsay is that the cemetery was established in the 18 teens. I can't comment on that since I don't have any hard evidence at the moment, but kind of cool. This is a very old cemetery. It's quite inactive, as a lot of very old cemeteries are. The reason I'm out here is because someone said, oh, hey, I hear there's this cemetery out on 100 that's haunted. I don't know if this is it. And I don't believe that cemeteries are haunted. But I thought, let's drive out that way and see if we find anything interesting in the way of tombstones. And there are some interesting things out here. This is interesting. This is the most ornate fence I have ever seen in a cemetery. This looks to be late 1800s. It was very expensive, obviously. There's a piece missing. Kind of weird. Why it's weird is there's nothing in it except for an empty plate. There is no gate, which that looks like it was probably just taken off. No idea. Very weird. Something else kind of strange over here. I would like to find out when bronzes started, but it definitely was not at the turn of the century when this stone was put up. So that was added later. Apparently she's a real daughter of the Revolutionary War. I've never seen a stone quite like this. I don't know what this is. And this top is quite unusual, but it did have a finial, so maybe it would make sense if the finial were still there. So, I said that the cemetery was inactive. I guess I should say it's not very active at all. There are some rocks that you can trip over in the cemetery. Generally, when you go to a cemetery, the oldest stones are ledgers like this, just the tall, thin marble ledgers. And that is, of course, next to the unmarked graves. Unmarked ones are going to be the oldest. Why? Okay, so it's 1810, 1830, whatever. Somebody dies. There are no governing bodies. Well, there's a governing body. There's no governing body saying where you have to bury and how you have to mark them or anything like that. Now, there's still nothing quite there's still nothing that says how you have to mark anybody, obviously, but there are regulations about where burials are and how to designate poison ivy as the burial spots. This is a grave from the 18 teens, supposedly. If this is from the 18 teens, then I would say that this is the or next to the oldest cemetery in Floyd County. We do not get along, Poison Ivy and I. This says Larkin Kennard. I think it was 1816. In case anybody wants to check it out. Some unmarked graves. So, back to what I was saying before I squealed about poison ivy. Is, why did graves go unmarked? Okay, first off, people spread out. They had big tracts of land. They live far apart. Finding someone to make tombstones was probably a problem. A lot of tombstones were made at home. But nobody had quite capitalized on the tombstone business in Floyd County until much later. That's cute. This was really well done. I don't know what company made these or where it came from, but I've seen a few stones made of Italian marble and other marble that are like that had this style. I can tell it's probably the same company or stone builder that made this one as did some at Myrtle Hill. This is very beautiful. That was all hand carved out of marble, and you see how thin they got the paper or the scroll on it? That's outstanding. That's just absolutely amazing. The detail. Just amazing. Alright, I'm going to put this on pause and go seek out something else. Well, first off, check this out. I don't know if this was like the foundation for a building. Someone knows. I don't. But it was all locally quarried limestone. How do you know it was locally quarried? Okay, well, in the 1800s, if you wanted to build something, you had to build it yourself, and you weren't going to go across the country and bring over a pile of stone to build. You locally quarried it. And the Coosa area out here in Floyd County had a few limestone quarries. Well, between here and Los Center. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Wood pit, apparently, where they keep firewood. If it were meant to be a grave space, I don't see anything in it. And I don't think anybody would build this wall just to leave unmarked graves in it. So perhaps it's another empty fence. Alright, I'm getting to the newer section. And I have yet to put this thing on pause, like I said I was going to. This is cool. It's cute. Little beady. When you head into a cemetery, I said that the oldest ones you're going to see are going to be ledgers like this. Specifically, they're going to be flat top, generally. Look at these carving marks. It's amazing that they're still here after all this time. Now, if you're in Floyd counties, or in, well, probably several counties, and you see old stones, they're not going to be Georgia marble. They're not going to be locally sourced. Usually, they are going to be imported. I don't know where they were importing from, but it appears to be Italian marble. Rag. W-R-A-G-G. Louisa E. Rag. I've never heard that name. 1853 is when she died. Looks like over the years they've taken some of the wall and used it for other purposes. Oh, when you go to old cemeteries like this, watch your step. Just saying. There's some German Shepherds over there. Hampton. Julia. This is a stone for one person. Mother. You generally would not see stones this large for one person, so that's really cool. I mean, unless they were very well off. Got a few veterans here. Lee McGee. Adelaide J. White. This is cool. Okay, I know I'm the only one that would notice this, but usually when you see a veteran stone, I know you would think, okay, there's supposed to be a cross here. Well, there's supposed to be some sort of emblem here, but there's nothing. Interesting. For instance, Iron Cross. Alright, now for real, I'm going to put this on pause and try and find something else interesting. Okay, for some reason, my phone is being choppy. Sorry. You see these pipes? They're not air holes. They're just grave markers. Or space savers. So don't come over here and freak out, please. Remember when I said I worked here before? I did Calvin's death date. Most interesting thing you heard all day. And I managed to back through the cemetery, straddle those, and get to it. Alright. Since my phone's being all choppy, I'll pause it again. That is interesting. You don't normally see a slant that's that tall. Okay. I'll stop to show you something pretty, really pretty. This is another one of those imported stones. 1887, J.E. Infant daughter of J.E. and G.D. Camp, born 1886, died in 1887. I don't know what kind of bird that is, but it's really well done. It's just a really pretty little bitty stone. It looks like as the cemetery expanded, I do not know why that's so choppy. It expanded back. Usually the old part's in the back, but the new part's back here. It looks like mostly children. Well, that one's not. That one's 1941 to 2009. Alright, I hate to keep pausing it, but this thing's choppy. Okay, I'll give you another lesson. I call these raised ledgers. I don't know what they're actually called. When you see these, do not step on them. Usually when they're like this, there is nothing underneath this slab. There are usually pins or concrete or something holding it down. That's a warped piece of marble. I guess it was crooked for a long time, so it became warped. But there's often nothing directly under except for dirt. Now, if I were to take this off, and I'm not going to, there's not a grave right under there, okay? Yes, there is a grave, but you're not going to see bones, okay? So don't go peeking under these thinking you're going to find something really cool. You're not. It's a burial. The burial was done and flattened out and quite old. I mean, probably like a year old or so before this was ever even put on top. But please do not ever step on old ledgers. They will break if they have a hairline crack. So I mentioned that you could still see the original cornerstones of the old church. Not much to look at, but here they are. 1, 2, somewhere, 4. It was about the size of that one, but without a bathroom. And that one probably has a bathroom. Founders Memorial, Floyd County, 1832. Livingston Church, 1833. Rome City, 1834. That's kind of cool. The church was established before the county seat, Rome, I think. I'm likely to say all kinds of wrong stuff, but if I'm not sure, I'll at least tell you. Well, sorry I couldn't tell you a whole lot more about the place, but I think this is pretty cool. It's a really neat cemetery. It has some unique monuments. I don't know who owns the property or oversees it anymore, so I don't know where any donations or anything could be sent, but if you're a cemetery goer, it's got some neat things. Oh, and no, I didn't see any ghosts.